Welcome to Emma's English.
Hey English learners, welcome back to Emma's English Talk, your cozy little place to learn real everyday English through natural conversations.
And I'm Tom.
It is so wonderful to have you all here with us today.
Yes, indeed. We always look forward to this time with our listeners.
Today, Tom, we are going to talk about something very specific that happens in daily life.
Oh, really? What is it?
Well, have you ever walked through a door and noticed someone behind you?
Yes, that happens almost every day when I go to work or the supermarket.
And what do you do when that person is just a little bit too far away?
That is a very difficult situation.
It really is, and it can feel so awkward.
Wait, Emma, you use the word awkward, but what does awkward mean exactly?
Awkward means when a situation is uncomfortable or a little embarrassing for you.
Oh, I see. So it means you feel uncomfortable because you do not know what to do.
Yes, exactly. Like when you are holding a door and the other person is still far away.
That is definitely an awkward situation.
I agree, because you are standing there holding the door and they feel they must rush.
Yes, they feel pressure to walk faster because you are waiting.
Exactly. And today we want to discuss this funny experience.
I think all of our listeners have experienced this at least once.
I am sure they have, because it is a universal human experience.
It really is, especially in busy cities.
Yes, where doors are constantly opening and closing.
I remember this happened to me yesterday at the local library.
Oh, really? Tell me what happened, Tom.
Well, I was entering the library and a woman was behind me.
Was she very close to you?
No, she was not close, but she was not extremely far either.
So, you were in that middle zone where you have to decide.
Yes, the decision zone.
And what did you decide to do?
I decided to hold the door open for her.
That was very polite of you.
Thank you, but then I realized she was slower than I thought.
Oh no, so you had to stand there for a long time.
Yes, I stood there for about 10 seconds, which felt like an hour.
10 seconds of standing and holding a door can feel so long.
It really does, and we just looked at each other.
That is exactly the kind of situation we want to talk about today.
I am excited to share more of these stories.
Me too, because there are so many funny details to this.
It shows how we try to be nice but end up creating funny moments.
Yes, our good intentions can sometimes make things complicated.
But that is what makes daily life so interesting to talk about.
Absolutely, and it's a great way to practice English.
Yes, because we use very common and useful words to describe it.
So let us get into the details of this funny daily dilemma.
I am ready to dive into the conversation.
Wonderful. Let us start our main discussion then.
Let us do it.
Let us talk about the space between you and the other person first.
Yes, that is the most important part because it depends on the distance.
Distance is a good word, but could you explain what distance means for our listeners?
Of course, distance is the amount of space between two things or two people.
Thank you, Tom. That is a very clear explanation.
So if the distance is small, it is very easy to hold the door.
Yes, if they are only 1 or 2 steps behind you, it is natural to hold it.
But if the distance is about 10 meters, that is where the problem starts.
10 meters is quite far to hold a door.
It is, but sometimes we do it anyway because we want to be polite.
And when we do that, the other person often feels they must speed up.
When you say speed up, what do you mean by that expression?
To speed up means to move faster or to walk faster than you were walking before.
Ah, so they start walking quickly because they see you waiting.
Yes, they do not want to make you wait for a long time.
That is so true. I always speed up when someone holds a door for me.
I do the same, and sometimes I even feel a little stressed.
Me too, because I was enjoying a peaceful walk and suddenly I have to rush.
It is like a sudden exercise that you did not plan to do.
Exactly. You're just walking and then you have to move fast.
Why do you think we feel this pressure, Tom?
I think we feel it because we do not want to be a burden to others.
That makes sense. We want to respect the other person's time.
Yes, since they are doing something nice for us, we want to show appreciation.
But It is funny how a nice action can make both people feel a bit stressed.
It is a very strange social situation. Have you ever decided not to hold the door because of the distance?
Yes, I have, but then I felt guilty.
Oh, tell me about that. Last week, I was entering a coffee shop.
Okay, and what happened?
There was a man walking behind me, but he was about 15 meters away.
15 meters is definitely too far.
I thought so too, so I just went inside and let the door close.
That sounds like the logical choice.
But right as the door was closing, I looked back.
Oh no, did you make eye contact?
Yes, we looked at each other through the glass window.
That must have felt so bad.
It did. I felt like a very rude person.
But 15 meters is really a long way to hold a door.
I know, but seeing the door close in his face made me feel terrible.
I understand that feeling completely.
What would you have done in that situation, Emma?
Well, if they are 15 meters away, I usually let the door close.
Really? So you do not feel guilty?
I try not to because holding it would force them to run.
That is a good point. You are actually saving them from running.
Yes, I tell myself that I am doing them a favor by letting the door close.
That is a very positive way to look at it, Emma.
It helps me avoid the guilt.
I should try to think like that next time.
Yes, it is much better than feeling bad.
But some doors are very heavy, too.
Oh, heavy doors are the worst for this.
Why do you think so?
Because if you let a heavy door close, it slams shut very loudly.
Yes, and a loud slam makes it look like you're angry.
Exactly. It looks like you're slamming the door in their face on purpose.
That is so true, so you feel even more pressure to hold it.
Yes, even if they are far away, you hold it because you don't want it to slam.
I hate when doors slam loudly behind me.
It makes everyone look at you.
Yes, it attracts a lot of attention.
And nobody wants that kind of attention.
Definitely not. We just want to go about our day quietly.
What about glass doors, Tom?
Glass doors are interesting because you can see through them.
Yes, so you can see the person the whole time.
That makes it even more difficult to ignore them.
I agree, because they can see you looking at them.
Yes, you cannot pretend that you didn't see them.
Exactly. With a solid wooden door, you can pretend you didn't know they were there.
That is a common trick, is it not?
Yes, the old pretend I didn't see you trick.
I think many people use that trick.
I must admit, I have used it once or twice.
We all have, Emma. It's a survival skill.
It really is, especially when you're tired.
Yes, when you don't have the energy for social interactions. Sometimes you just want to get inside without any drama.
But with glass doors, you have no choice.
No choice at all.
You have to make a decision.
And if you hold it, you have to stand there and watch them walk towards you.
It's like a slow motion movie.
Yes, and you have to keep smiling the whole time.
That smile can become very fake after 5 seconds.
It becomes a frozen smile.
Yes, a frozen, painful smile.
I know that smile very well.
We should have a name for that specific smile.
The door holder smile?
That is a perfect name for it.
It's a mix of politeness and pain.
Exactly. You're trying to look friendly, but you're crying inside.
Because your arm is getting tired from holding the heavy glass door.
Yes, and the other person is walking so slowly.
Why do some people walk so slowly, even when you hold the door?
That is a great question. It can be quite frustrating.
Yes, you're doing them a favor, but they don't speed up.
They just walk at their normal, slow pace.
It makes me want to let go of the door.
But you can't do that once you've committed to holding it.
No, once you start holding it, you're locked in.
You have to finish the job.
Yes, you can't give up halfway.
That would be even ruder than not holding it at all.
Imagine letting go of the door right as they reach it.
That would be terrible and very shocking.
It would look like a joke or a prank.
Yes, like you're playing a game with them.
So we must always stand our ground and hold it.
Yes, we must hold it until they safely pass through.
It's a matter of personal honor.
Indeed, it is a small daily test of character.
I wonder if different cultures have different rules for this.
That is a very interesting thought.
Because in some countries, people might not hold doors at all.
Yes, in very busy places, people might just focus on their own path.
And in other places, they might hold it even if you're 50 meters away.
15 meters is practically in another town.
It feels like it when you're the one walking.
I think in smaller towns, people are generally more patient.
Yes, life moves slower there, so they don't mind waiting.
But in big cities, everyone is in a rush.
So waiting for 5 seconds feels like a major delay.
It is funny how our perception of time changes depending on where we are.
Yes, 5 seconds in a forest is nothing, but 5 seconds at a door is forever.
That is a very deep thought, Tom.
Thank you. I try to be deep sometimes.
It is very true, though.
I also think about how we say thank you.
Yes, the thank you is very important.
What is the best way to say thank you in that situation?
Usually, a simple thanks or thanks is enough.
Do you also wave your hand?
Yes, a small hand gesture is very common.
I usually do a little wave and a smile.
That is a good way to show gratitude quickly.
But what if you are too tired to speak?
Then just a nod of the head works well.
The polite nod is a classic move.
It is. It saves energy but still shows respect.
I use the polite nod quite often on Monday mornings.
Mondays are tough, so we need to save our words.
Exactly. I don't have the energy for full sentences before coffee.
Nobody does, Tom. Nobody does.
But what if the person doesn't say thank you at all?
Oh, that is very annoying.
It really is. You stand there holding a heavy door and they just walk past.
Like you are a robot or an automatic door opener.
Yes, like it's your job to stand there for them.
It makes you regret being nice.
It does. It makes me want to say, "You're welcome," very loudly.
Have you ever actually said that?
Only in my head. I'm too polite to say it out loud.
I think most of us just say it in our heads.
Yes, we have quiet conversations of anger in our minds.
That is much safer than starting an argument over a door.
Definitely. We want to keep the peace.
But it is important to remember that maybe they were just distracted.
That is true. They might have been thinking about something serious.
Yes. Or maybe they were having a bad day.
So we should try to be understanding.
Yes. A little kindness goes a long way.
Even if they don't say thank you.
Exactly, because we do it to be nice, not just to get a thank you.
That is a very beautiful way to think about it, Emma.
Thank you, Tom. I try to keep a positive outlook.
It's a good lesson for all of us.
So we have talked about the distance and the feelings.
Yes, we have covered a lot of the basics.
But there is still more to discuss about this topic.
Really? Like what?
Like the actual physical movement we do when we are the ones walking.
Oh, yes, the famous movement.
We will discuss that in the next part of our conversation.
I can't wait to talk about that.
Me too. It's one of the funniest parts of this whole topic.
Let us continue then.
So let us talk about that physical movement when we are walking towards a held door.
You mean the little run we do to be polite?
Yes, many people call it a mini-jog.
A mini-jog. That is a funny term. What does it mean?
Well, a mini-jog is like a very short, slow run that is not really a real run, but it shows you are trying to move faster.
Ah, so you're not sprinting, but you are moving your arms and legs to look fast.
Exactly. It is a symbolic run to show the other person that you appreciate them waiting.
That is so true. It is more about showing effort than actually being fast.
Yes, it is a social performance.
I do the mini-jog all the time, and I always feel a bit silly doing it.
Why do you feel silly?
Because I know I'm not actually saving much time, maybe just 1 second.
But that 1 second is very important for our social etiquette.
Etiquette is an interesting word. Could you explain it for our listeners?
Of course. Etiquette means the rules of polite behavior in society, or how we should act to be nice to others.
Ah, so door etiquette is the set of rules for how to behave near doors.
Yes, and the mini-jog is a big part of door etiquette.
It shows that you respect the other person's effort.
Exactly. If you just walk slowly, it looks like you do not care.
But if you do the mini jog, you're saying, look, I'm trying my best to get to you quickly.
It is a very sweet gesture, even if it looks a bit funny.
I agree. It makes the world a slightly friendlier place.
Another important part of this etiquette is eye contact.
Yes, what happens when we look at each other?
Well, to make eye contact is when you look directly into another person's eyes.
So when you make eye contact, you're acknowledging the other person's presence.
Yes, you are saying, I see you and I know you see me.
And once you make eye contact, you cannot look away and pretend nothing is happening.
That is the point of no return.
Once eye contact is made, you must do the mini jog if they hold the door.
Yes, the eye contact seals the deal.
What if you look down at your phone instead?
The phone escape.
Yes, pretending to be very busy with a text message.
That is a very common way to avoid making eye contact.
You just look at your screen and walk slowly.
But deep down, you know they are holding the door.
Yes, you can feel their eyes on you.
That feels even more awkward than just doing the mini jog.
I agree. It's better to just face the situation and do the run.
It is a good little leg exercise anyway.
Yes, a tiny bit of cardio during your daily walk.
Exactly. We can think of it as a health benefit.
That is a great way to reframe it.
What about when there's a group of people behind you, Tom?
Oh, that is a very complex situation.
Yes, because if you hold the door for the first person, do you have to hold it for everyone?
That is the door holding chain.
Yes, a chain reaction.
Usually the first person you held the door for should take the door from you.
Yes, they should catch the door and hold it for the next person.
That is the correct way to do it.
But sometimes they do not catch it.
And then you're stuck holding it for a whole group of strangers.
It's like you have suddenly become the doorman for the building.
Yes, and you're not even getting paid for it.
You just stand there as 10 people walk through.
That has happened to me at the subway station.
Subway stations are famous for this because there are so many people.
Yes, a continuous flow of commuters.
If you don't let go at some point, you'll be there all day.
So how do you break the chain, Emma?
Well, you have to find a small gap between people.
A gap, like a space where there is nobody close.
Yes, when the next person is at least 3 meters away.
That's your chance to escape.
Yes, you quickly let go of the door and walk away.
You must be fast and decisive.
Absolutely. If you hesitate, you're trapped again.
It's like an action movie scene.
It really is a high-stakes escape.
I always feel a bit of adrenaline when I do that.
It's exciting in a weird way.
What about automatic doors, Emma? Do you ever try to hold them?
Oh, that's a funny question.
Because they open by themselves.
Yes, but sometimes they start to close and we try to block them with our hand.
Yes, like we are superheroes with special powers.
But sometimes the sensor doesn't see your hand.
And the door just hits you.
That is extremely embarrassing.
It is because you tried to be helpful but ended up getting hurt by a machine.
And everyone is watching you get hit by a door.
That's a double fail.
Yes, physical pain and social embarrassment at the same time.
I think it's better to just let automatic doors do their job.
I agree. Machines do not need our help.
They are programmed to open and close on their own.
What about revolving doors, Tom?
Oh, revolving doors are a nightmare for etiquette.
They really are, because only one person can fit in each section.
Yes, and you have to match the speed of the person in front of you.
If they walk too slowly, you're stuck in your little glass box.
And if they stop, you might bump into the glass.
It's a very tight space.
I always feel a bit anxious in revolving doors.
Me too. They feel like a trap sometimes.
And there's no way to hold a revolving door for someone.
Actually, some people push it slowly to help the person behind them.
Oh, that's true. You can give it a little extra push.
But if you push it too hard, you might make the other person run.
Yes, you might spin them around too fast.
That would be like an amusement park ride.
Not a very fun ride when you're carrying groceries.
Definitely not.
So we have to be very careful with our door actions.
It seems that a simple door can cause a lot of thinking.
It's amazing how much social interaction happens at a doorway.
It's a transition space between the outside world and the inside world.
That is a very poetic way to say it.
Thank you. I think doorways are very symbolic.
They are, where we meet people and make quick decisions.
And they show how we treat strangers.
Yes, because we don't know these people, but we still try to be nice.
That's the beauty of it. It's a small act of kindness for a stranger.
Even if it leads to an awkward mini-jog.
Yes, the Mini-Jog is the small price to pay for kindness.
I agree, it's worth it.
Next time someone holds a door for me, I will do my best Mini-Jog.
I will do the same with a big smile.
And I will make sure to say thank you very clearly.
That's the best way to do it.
We should all try to be door-holding champions.
Yes, let's start a movement.
A movement of polite door holders.
That sounds like a wonderful idea.
It would make our cities much friendlier.
And it would give everyone a little daily exercise.
Yes, a double benefit.
I'm definitely on board with this.
I'm glad to hear that, Tom.
It's funny how we can talk about this for so long.
It's because it's so relatable.
Yes, everyone has a story about a door.
I think our listeners are probably nodding their heads right now.
I hope they are, and maybe laughing a little bit too.
Laughing at themselves and at us.
That's the best kind of laughter.
It really is. It connects us all.
Well, this has been a really fun discussion about doors.
It has, but we still have more to share today.
Yes, we do.
We want to make sure our listeners can use these words in their own lives.
That's the most important part of learning English.
Yes, being able to speak naturally about these daily moments.
It makes your English sound much more real.
Exactly. Textbooks don't always teach you about the Mini-Jog.
No, they don't. They teach you formal things.
But real life is full of these informal situations.
That's why we're here, to bridge that gap.
Yes, to help our listeners speak like real native speakers.
It's a very rewarding job.
It is, and I love doing it with you, Tom.
Thank you, Emma. I feel the same way.
So let's move on to our next part of the conversation.
I'm ready when you are.
Let's think about the specific phrases we used today.
Yes, we used some very good ones.
We should look at them more closely.
That will be very helpful for everyone.
I agree. It's good to practice.
So let's do that now.
Okay. Thinking about our funny door stories and how we talk about them reminds me of how we can say things more naturally in English.
That is true. When we talk about daily struggles, we often use specific natural expressions.
Yes, for example, instead of saying, it is difficult, we can say, it is awkward.
That is a great word to use because it describes the feeling so well.
Yes, and we can also use expressions like seal the deal.
Ah, seal the deal is a very common idiom.
It is, and it means to make an agreement official or final.
In our conversation, we used it to say that making eye contact makes the door-holding situation official.
Exactly. Once you look at them, you cannot change your mind.
That is a very creative way to use that idiom.
Thank you. It makes the description much more colorful.
Another phrase we used was stand your ground.
Yes, to stand your ground means to refuse to withdraw or refuse to give up.
Like when you refuse to let go of the door, even if the person is walking slowly.
Yes, you stay there and keep holding it because you committed to it.
That is a very strong expression for a door situation.
It is, and that is why it is funny to use it for small daily things.
It makes the situation sound more dramatic than it really is.
Yes, dramatizing our daily life is a great way to have fun with English.
I completely agree. It makes learning much more enjoyable.
We also talked about saving someone from running.
Yes, doing someone a favor is a very common phrase.
To do someone a favor means to do something kind or helpful for them.
Like holding the door, which is a small favor.
Exactly. And we also used the phrase point of no return.
That is another very dramatic phrase.
It means the stage at which it is impossible to go back or change your mind.
Yes, like when you have already made eye contact and started holding the door.
You cannot go back inside or let the door close then.
You just have to wait.
It is a point of no return indeed.
I love these expressions because they make English sound so lively.
They really do, and they are very easy to use once you understand them.
Our listeners can try using them in their own daily conversations.
Yes, even for small things like deciding what to eat or doing chores.
That is a great way to practice.
It helps you remember them better.
I think so too. Practice is the key to mastering any language.
It is. You cannot just listen. You have to try using the words.
Even if you make mistakes, it is part of the process.
Yes, making mistakes is how we learn and get better.
We all make mistakes when we learn something new.
Absolutely. I still make mistakes sometimes.
Me too, it is completely normal.
So our listeners should never feel afraid to try.
That is a very encouraging message, Emma.
I want everyone to feel confident when they speak.
Confidence is very important for language learners.
It really is. It changes how you communicate.
When you are confident, people understand you better.
Yes, because you speak more clearly and naturally.
And these expressions we discussed today can really help build that confidence.
Definitely, because they make you sound like a native speaker.
Which is what many learners want to achieve.
Yes, it is a very common goal.
And we are happy to help them reach it.
We really are. It is our favorite thing to do.
It is a joy to see our listeners improve over time.
Yes, we love reading their comments and hearing about their progress.
It motivates us to keep making these episodes.
It really does. We are so thankful for our community.
Yes, we have the best listeners in the world.
We certainly do.
I agree completely.
Speaking of remembering all these great new words, did you know we have a PDF script available for this episode?
Oh yes, that is a fantastic resource for our listeners.
It is completely free and contains the full text of our conversation today.
That is perfect for studying because you can read while you listen to us.
Yes, it is a great way to practice your reading and pronunciation at the same time.
You can find the link to download the PDF in the description below.
And we also pinned it in the comments section, so it is very easy to find.
If you find our videos helpful, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel.
Yes, subscribing helps us grow and allows us to make more lessons for you.
And turn on notifications so you never miss a new conversation with us.
It really makes a big difference for our channel.
We appreciate every single subscriber and supporter.
Thank you all so much for being part of our English learning family.
It really means a lot to us.
It does. We are so grateful.
Yes, indeed.
So please check out the PDF and subscribe if you have not already.
You will not regret it.
All right, and speaking of reviewing, before we say goodbye today, let us do a quick review of the 6 target words we used.
That is a great idea. Let us remind everyone of the key vocabulary from our discussion.
Our first word was awkward, which describes an uncomfortable or embarrassing situation.
Yes, like standing at a door waiting for someone who is too far away.
It is a very common feeling in daily life.
It really is, especially when you are not sure what to do.
Our second word was distance, which is the amount of space between 2 things or people.
Right. The distance between you and the person behind you is very important.
If the distance is too large, it makes things complicated.
Yes, distance changes how we behave.
Our third expression was speed up, which means to walk or move faster.
Exactly. Like when you speed up so the person holding the door does not have to wait.
It is always polite to speed up a little bit.
Yes, it shows that you are trying to be quick.
Our fourth word was mini-jog, which is that polite, short, and slow run we do.
Yes, the classic mini-jog to show you are trying your best to reach the door.
It is more about looking like you're running than actually running.
That is so true. It is a very funny movement.
Our fifth word was etiquette, which means the rules of polite behavior in society.
Like the unspoken rules of door etiquette that we all try to follow.
Etiquette helps us live together peacefully.
It does. It makes our daily interactions smoother.
And our sixth expression was make eye contact, which means looking directly into someone's eyes.
Which is the moment that makes the door holding situation official.
Once eye contact is made, there is no going back.
Yes, you are committed to being polite.
These are 6 very useful words and phrases for daily English.
They are perfect for talking about small daily struggles and social moments.
I hope our listeners can try to use at least one of them today.
That would be a wonderful way to practice.
You can even use them in the comments section below this video.
Yes, that is a great place to write your practice sentences.
We love reading your comments and seeing how you use the words.
We try to read as many comments as we can.
Yes, it is always the highlight of our day.
So please do not hesitate to write to us.
It is a very safe and friendly space to practice.
Absolutely. We are all here to learn and support each other.
Learning a language is always better when you do it with a community.
Yes, sharing your experiences makes it much more fun.
And you realize that other learners are experiencing the same things.
Exactly. We are all in this together.
Before we go, Tom, we have a question for our listeners.
Yes, what is our question of the day today, Emma?
We want to know, how far away is too far to hold a door open for someone?
That is a great question. And have you ever had to do the polite mini-jog?
Yes, tell us your funniest door-holding stories in the comments below.
We really want to read your answers and laugh with you.
Thank you so much for listening to Emma's English Talk today.
Yes, thank you, and we hope you learned some useful English.
Keep practicing, keep smiling, and we'll see you in our next episode.
Yes, do not forget to study with the PDF script too. That will help you understand every single word we said.
It is a great tool for shadowing practice.
Absolutely, so make sure to check it out.
All right, now it is really time to go.
Yes, it is.
Goodbye, everyone, and take care.
Goodbye. Happy learning.
Have a wonderful day.
See you soon.
Bye-bye.